Titans Beast World Issue 1 finds Brother Eternity addressing the entire world, telling them that thanks to the greed and wealth and the climate crisis, their end is nigh. But the Church of Eternity can give them hope as they reach out amongst the stars thanks to everyone who contributed to their efforts, and in doing so they have launched a rocket to the moon called Titan, where Brother Eternity believes he can find a better world. The Eternity ship lands and the Forevernauts disembark, soon spotting something that they never thought they would in a million years: signs of civilization. Brother Eternity knows all about the temple, telling the explorers to have faith and to enter. The Forevernauts spot the markings on the wall and Brother Eternity asks them to broadcast his voice to the moon. The church leader begins talking in an alien language and the watching Starfire recognizes the language as ancient Tamaranian. Nightwing asks Oracle if she was able to track Brother Eternity, but Barbara has not been able to locate him. Dick says he wants a team ready to move on Titan as the ground quakes and splits apart, consuming the Forevernauts, who call out to Brother Eternity. The villain tells them that that's not his name as the Titans boom tube their way above the moon. Before they go, Garfield wants to speak to Raven, but she knows what he wants to say and he doesn't have to worry about her. Garfield tells her that even the strongest people deserve to have someone looking after them. They share a kiss as Wally warns the team to all be careful and Nightwing tells them to focus on the astronauts. Raven, Starfire, Donna and Cyborg arrive in orbit and Victor begins getting strange gravitational readings. Nightwing tells them to just find the astronauts and get home, but heading to the surface reveals the explorers have been flash frozen into stone. Cyborg's readings begin to indicate that there is a rhythm of some type and Raven reaches out with her powers, shocked to find that it's a heartbeat. The ground beneath the Titans is torn apart, prompting a swift exit back into orbit. Starfire recognizes what this is. Finding Titan is no moon. It's a prison for a god, as a huge monstrous starfish-like creature bursts from the moon's core. Corey tells the team that they cannot fight this and they must leave as it's a conqueror and it cannot be allowed to gain all of their powers. Cyborg gets ready to take them home, but Starfire wants to head to the Tamaranian archives first. An hour later, the world's heroes assemble at the Titan's tower, listening to Starfire as she tells them all about the Necrostar, an ancient being who cannot be controlled or killed, and 30 million years ago, her entire race stood up to it and almost half were wiped out while warring with the creature. Nightwing asks how they were able to imprison it, and Corey reveals that they didn't. Starro the Conqueror did, weakening it just enough for it to be frozen into a prison which became the moon of Titan. Superman spots the Necrostar passing Jupiter, figuring that it will be at Earth within the hour. Batman wants to send out an interplanetary beacon to gather support from other star systems, and Mr. Terrific wants to gear up for a universe-wide search for Starro. Beast Boy figures that both of these men are geniuses, yet their solution to stop an unstoppable alien conqueror is to throw another unstoppable alien conqueror at it. Batman asks if he has a better suggestion, and Garfield thinks he kinda does. Batman doesn't like his confidence in that, but Raven tells him and the others to listen, having seen Garfield's plan in his mind, and it requires sacrifice, but it's a sound plan, and he doesn't need to be spoken down to like one of Batman's Robins. Batman asks if Nightwing is okay with this, and Dick trusts Beast Boy completely, giving him lead on this mission. Garfield tells him that he will need the ocean, a cyborg, and some time. Earth's heroes race to meet the Necrostar in space, warned by Starfire not to let it touch them, as the being unleashes smaller parasites like the one Brother Eternity had, swarming the planet and infecting most of the people. Starfire tells the heroes that the parasites are not sentient, so they don't need to hold back. The heroes begin running out of time as Cyborg tells Beast Boy that he wants to trust the process, but doesn't understand how Garfield will fight a conqueror while in his whale form. Garfield reveals that the plan he was thinking of couldn't be comprehended by his human mind, but the mink whale has the largest glia to brain ratio, so he took the form to gain extra brain capacity so he could grasp what he has to do. Raven hopes that he is sure about this, and the hero knows that it will be very bad and messy and he might explode, but they don't have another choice. He tells them to move back and Raven joins him in his mind, finding the change has begun. Beast Boy doubles over in pain, but Raven refuses to leave him, taking some of the pain onto herself. The heroes hold one another as Garfield's physical body begins to undergo a grotesque transformation, falling into the depths of the ocean. In space, the Necrostar is halted by the heroes, but it pushes back against them, aiming to land in the ocean. Wonder Woman doesn't want that to happen as the flooding will destroy nations. Shazam moves in to blast it, but one of the parasites shoots down his throat, turning him against Wonder Woman. A smaller green Starro races into action, grabbing the parasite within Billy's mouth and pulling it out, ripping it to pieces. Beast Boy, now in the form of multiple Starros, confronts the Necrostar. Starfire recognizes the being is Garfield, who wants to go by the name Garo now as he tackles the Necrostar in a giant form. Raven finds the Necrostar is afraid of Garo as it is tackled out of Earth's orbit. Down on the planet, the smaller Garos all combat the parasite, telling Raven that he is well aware that they are working, as he feels every version of himself, finding it rather gross that he has to enter through these people to save them. He hopes that they are far enough away from the planet, and Cyborg tells him that he is, warning his friend that at the size of the portal he must open, he'll be only able to open it for 2.3 seconds before the portal's gravity affects Earth's pull. Cyborg opens a giant boom tube to the Boomerang Nebula, the coldest place in the universe. The Necrostar begins falling into the portal, freezing instantly as it comes in contact with the area, but one of Garo's tentacles also get caught, prompting him to rip it off as the portal closes, sealing the Necrostar in an eternal slumber. Garo isn't too worried as he figures he can regrow the tentacles, and Cyborg will have to settle for a high 4 rather than a high 5. Cyborg doesn't respond as he has been taken offline by Dr. Hate, who wants to show Garo who he is exactly. The being removes his helmet and Garfield recognizes him, shocked at who it is, but Dr. Hate doesn't think that it matters who he is and how he returned, since soon nothing will matter. The villain unleashes his power on Garo, freezing him in place and telling him that even Raven cannot save him now. Before Garfield fades away though, the villain wants to know what he wanted for the people of Earth. The hero says that he wanted them to understand what they are a part of and to be better people. Garfield begins to be erased from his own mind, as Dr. Hate tells him that Amanda Waller thanks him for his sacrifice, saying goodbye to the hero. At Titan's Tower, Raven screams that she can't feel Garfield's mind anymore. Nightwing tries to get in contact with Cyborg, finding he too is offline as the Beast, the creature that was once Beast Boy, descends on the planet, unleashing its parasites over Karndak. One parasite infects Black Adam, who tries to burn it out with his powers, but it takes control of him in an instant, and thanks to Beast Boy's powers, transforms Black Adam into a monstrous wolf man.